So how'd they find you? You found them just on the street kicking it, and you invited them to
Met them out, man. Just you meet people when you're out.
Where do we meet you at?
And then you would y'all be great tenants.
You say again?
All right, folks. I'm going to ask you guys a couple of questions. We'll figure it out. I don't need you to overspeak anybody. It makes the things a lot more difficult. So I'm going to start with Mr. Daphne as a result of him being plaintiff. Or no, I'm not. I mean, where is that? Is that the landlord, Mr.? Okay, they still have you as Tina. All right. So tell me. Let me get you guys to raise your both hand. Both of you guys raise your right hand. I'm sorry. Let me get you under oath. You swear affirm it? Okay. All right. Okay. You swear affirm it. Tell the truth.
In today's case, a landlord brings two women to court claiming they were never his tenants, but the judge quickly realizes something doesn't add up. And then it gets wild.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Do you have a written lease with these ladies?
No, I do not.
Do you have an oral lease with these ladies?
No, I do not.
Okay, and how did they then come in possession of this particular property? You didn't identify that they are renting a room, I believe, on the wall.
Well, I met the one with the funny hair, I forget, Jasmine. I met her out, invited her to the house. She came with her sister, and under the pretense that they just want to spend some time and hang out. So at the end of the day,
how long ago was that?
Back in February. But it wasn't like they was going to be there every day. It was like on some, we're going to just come through, hang out every night during the weekend. So.
Listen.
At the end of the day, what was just communicated to me was if they come into my home and they pay me and I accept money, then we've established a tenant landlord relationship.
You don't even have to have paid money to establish a tenant relationship. You may not have known that, but so you said they came in February. I get that.
Yeah.
And so they're not there every day. Because I said
no, they're not there every day, and so I got a $200 payment on day one, and what was established was
hold on, wait. I want to walk it down so I understand what you're saying.
Right.
So you initially invited them to kick it, right?
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna just ladies, just be quiet. I just want to.
I'm sorry. It's just funny.
No. But I know it's funny. But I need you to be quiet. I understand. So just hold tight. So you invited them to come and kick it.
Yes.
They end up and I guess you had do you live there as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And so they came and kicked it, and then you know what? You was like, hey, you can keep on kicking it here.
Well,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
They still there. They still there. And so let me ask you, do they have a key or do you always let them in?
No, I got a keypad. So I gave them a code.
And you gave them a code. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, do you have other renters or people staying in this property, or is it just happen that these ladies are just staying?
I have other people that live with me that visit. I have other visitors in the house.
Okay, but not other tenants.
Not other tenants.
Not like a room in the house or nothing like that.
No, not like that. No.
Okay. All right. But then you said when they came, they gave you $200 when they first got there. And why they give you $200?
Yeah.
Why they give you $200 if they just came to kick you?
Because this is where it gets interesting.
I'd love to hear. Tell me the interesting part.
After they had been there for a while, like I was telling the mediator.
You don't tell me what the mediator. When you say a while,
I realized one of them was a prostitute. Because I started seeing different activity come inside the house, whatever, different guys coming inside the house. And so I approached Kanae about this, and I said, hey, I got to ask you about these guys that you keep bringing into the house. What's going on with that? And then she went on to tell me that, yeah, she was a prostitute, that Jasmine didn't know that she was a prostitute, and she had been doing it for quite some time. And then I actually reminded her of like a guy that she had saw back during one of her sessions. And so shortly after that, I guess it became uncomfortable once she realized that I knew. And so she moved out. And so with just Jasmine just staying there by herself. So what I suspect was happening was they were using my house as to do their deeds.
But you lived there too.
Yes, but I lived there too. However, this is the deal now. I have two jobs and my father's sick. So I didn't occupy a lot of space in the house because my father's in South Georgia. So I work 12-hour shifts during the day. And then I have a fiance that I go see also who lives across town. So I wasn't in the house.
Let me just slow you down.
Yeah,
He slow
I
you
know.
down.
Yeah.
He slow you down.
Yes.
You got the two.
I got exactly.
No, but it's Atlanta. That's Atlanta.
Exactly.
I'm
I'm
not saying it's
that's why I
acceptable.
said come on with it. That's why I
But
said
it's
come on with it.
Atlanta. Okay,
That's why I said come on with it.
so you got this situation. You say
I
you're
got
out
this
there.
situation.
So let me ask you this. All right. So you've identified them as a tenant sufferance. Why do you believe they are tenant sufferance?
Because at the end of the day, is they mentioned 2 minors, which is odd because they're not responsible for any minors, right? Jasmine does have, hold on, Jasmine does have a child, but what I was looking at was in sufferance is to the fact that there's perceived criminal activity that's taking place in the household, right, with the prostitution. And so I just want that element out of my house, and I didn't want it to just be a recurring thing. So that's why I went down and I filed the notice, because from that perspective, again, it looks to be like that type of activity is going on. I didn't want that around my household.
Did you ever give them a letter that they needed to vacate before you filed this action?
I sent a text message I got a text message dated.
But no letter though. And what did the text message say?
No. I did not do a formal letter and slide it to them or whatever. No, that was just a text message.
What the text message say?
Hold on, let me pull it up. I don't argue where I live, nor will I allow disrespect. You have to go. This was dated on Tuesday, June 3rd.
Okay. And it looks like you filed this action on Tuesday, June 3rd.
No, it could have been Tuesday, June, or maybe it was. I'm sorry, my bad. I don't remember, but yeah, Tuesday, June 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
So listen. I'm gonna give the ladies an opportunity to respond because you've made a lot of allegations about them, and it would be rude of me not to allow them to respond.
Absolutely, go for it.
So just hold tight. I'm gonna start with one of you at a time. So we'll start with
She ain't even gonna talk, so I'm gonna let her talk.
Okay, I forgot both of you were in the vehicle. So Jasmine, feel free. Let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you a question. When did you come to either occupy or get access to the property?
Okay, so on February the 3rd, I was on Craigslist.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen an ad.
You got Craigslist out here?
Yes, it's called Room Shared. On Craigslist, you go to Room Shared, and there's an area on Room Shared or whatever with his ad and his phone number there. Okay. And so he said that he was renting out rooms for $200. I told him that I had my sister with me, and I also have my daughter. She does have her father, so it's joint custody. And so I told him the problem that I was having is that a lot of places won't take somebody that smokes cigarettes. And so my sister, she smokes.
Well, hold on, because I see where we're going down the road. I just want to be a little quicker. So you moved. Okay. Did you ever give him any money?
Yes, when I first moved in, he said it would be the $200 up front. We emailed that to you guys.
Wait, hold on. And then after the $200, did he ever make any additional requests for money?
Yes, which I sent that in email, and it has a thank you payment from him on each time, every week that I pay.
Okay, and so when did you pay?
Every week, and I dated that.
Okay, when's the last time you paid?
The last time I paid, it was actually a week after the eviction. That's my usual date. Hold on. I can actually look through the messages. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Because I don't see any evidence submitted with that. And
yeah, I also emailed too. Yeah, my sister emailed too. We both emailed the attachments. I had emailed with my name on there. So
hold on. Let me ask Mr. Dapp. Mr. Dapp, can you unmute for me now?
Yes, sir.
Did you get any additional payments from these ladies? Neither one of us?
Yes.
When's the last time you got any money from them?
6/10. 6/10 was the day.
Hold on.
They were They told me they'd give me $200 a week. I can't remember the last time I got $200. That's the first.
Got it. I got the evidence if you want to see it, and it's
the last payment was like June 10th for $98.
that's correct.
Okay,
That's right.
so hold tight. Now let me, Mr. Daphne. This bothers me.
How
My
so?
tones, because I'm gonna tell you why my tone's gonna change. Because initially you told me these people aren't your tenants, they're sufferants and all this other, but you lied to me. It's, I'm not calling you a liar, but you lied to me. In addition to, you told me you only got one $200 payment, but you seem to got several other payments. In addition to a payment after you filed, you gave them no notice, and you essentially tried to sully these women's character by claiming that they're prostitutes. That could be true, could not be true. But I'm a little bothered by your assertion in filing that they're tenants and sufferants when that's not the case at all. Let me ask you this: Did you put a advertisement on Craigslist for a room?
I did not.
You did not.
I did not.
No.
No.
So how'd they find you? You found them just on the street kicking it, and you invited them to the crib?
I did not put
Sir, can I say?
Wait. Just.
Can I go to the house? Because I have
No,
the witnesses,
no,
the tenants
no,
that's in there. They'll witness to this.
I'm asking him a question.
Okay.
Mr. Daphne.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me how you make contact with these women.
Met them out, man. Just you meet people when you're out.
Where do we meet you at?
And then you would, y'all be great tenants.
You say again?
I guess it would be great to just let y'all, stay there, and y'all can pay me $200 and here and there. Here go the code, but I know y'all in and out. Listen, I'm gonna be frank with you. I really don't.
I'm gonna be straight up with you, man. Like I didn't really care. Like they told me they were gonna pay the $200. They paid $200.
Listen. It's all good. I've heard enough. I don't want to hear.
I don't think I really know severance.
It's okay. It's okay, because I know you may or may not know. Okay. But it's your responsibility to know. Because when you're telling someone and you file these actions against people, it impacts them, whether you realize it or not. Because when you file these actions, it goes on their record. When you file these actions, it may impede their ability to rent elsewhere. Okay. That bothers me because it's already difficult for people to find housing, which is probably the reason why they were renting from you, because they probably couldn't find housing elsewhere. So what is that? Well, no, let me finish, because let me finish. And so ultimately, let me look and see what they filed on their hands, because I'm a little irritated with the actions here, because too many landlords take advantage of people. And it sounds out to me, this isn't a taking advantage of kind of situation, in my personal opinion. Now, these folks claim that they did make a counterclaim. Ladies, it's not going to be $5,400, but I am going to give you as a counterclaim. Because so let me tell you what you didn't do. You didn't give them a notice to vacate. You sent them a text. You sent them the text on the same day that you filed it. Okay. It told them that they were a tenant at sufferance. They're not a tenant at sufferance. They rent for you.
What does that mean?
Don't. What it means is they had no legal right or basis to be there. Okay. And that's not the case. That's just not the case. It's not the case. Okay. And so, you've tarnished them. And so it's going to be essentially $500 a piece. And I'm going to give them a money judgment against you for $500. You're going to have to, if you're trying to get them out, you're going to have to do it the right way. But you can't file these actions, ignore everything, and then make it seem as if, hey, my bad, my fault, we'll get it resolved. Because it don't work like that. And, the statements that you've made during court aren't consistent with what you now are saying. And that's problematic. And so the judgment, the case will be dismissed. There'll be a money judgment against you for $1,000. So it's going to be $500 a piece. But I want you to understand, man, housing's already difficult to get. You know what I mean? You can't be reckless against people because
when you get done,
you've fallen out of interest with people. There's a process. So the case will be dismissed. There'll be a money judgment against you for $1,000, and that'll be the order of the court.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, man. We'll see you guys come back.
Can I ask you another question?
Sure.
So then, moving forward, right? Do I give them a notice today in writing? So you got 30 days to do this all over again?
Brother, I'm not your attorney. You might look up that law. You might want to look it up. You might want to hire an attorney.
I got you, man.
But the way you're doing it ain't right.
I got you, brother. All right. Thank you for the advice. Appreciate it.
No worries.
Yeah. All right.
You guys are free to go.
All right, thank you.
Sir, you
Have a nice day.
day.
Uh-huh.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. All right, we do have some consent, so let me check those out, folks.
Very often with another party such as this, and you just can't seem to work it out. Don't resort to taking the law in your own hands.
We'll hear the litigants' reaction after these messages.
All right, thank you very much. Officer Bell's waiting for you, and that will bring this case to a conclusion.